People who have signed NDAs that have now expired or for whatever reason are no longer valid. What couldn't you tell us but now can? I was actually an actor in that commercial that said I wasn't. They aren't paid actors cause we're not paying them. Sony got hacked over that North Korea movie because of a 5-year-old account they didn't delete or monitor from an ex-employee. Had to sign a NDA for a secure shipment that came into a building I ran security at unnamed. Shipment came in at 2 AM and marked transit van. 2 guys had to verify their biometrics and give me the correct password. Then was required to deactivate the cameras on the floors along the travel routes they took inside the building and wipe the footage of them entering and leaving. Long play videotapes so easy to oops tape got chewed. They unpacked a set of vases and trundled off to put them in a private vault. Don't know what the frick was in them, but I've seen less security for pallets of precious metal bullion. Mini Cooper BMW replaced our car because the high pressure fuel pump failed 6 times within 6 months. However, the recorded reason for the replacement of the car was because of stained interior from dirty mechanic hands, so it wasn't replaced via the lemon law. I was a contractor, for the US military. I also translated Marvel comic books. Marvel had tighter security. This does not surprise me. I've worked in aerospace on military contracts most of my professional career. The most restrictive NDA I've had to sign was for a candy bagging machine for a candy company. You'll never believe it, but Apple Computer is gonna open retail stores. That job sure seems like a promising young fellow. In 1990, I signed an NDA at Chili's when they showed me how to make their new Awesome Blossom. No other restaurant in town had anything like it and it was hugely popular at the time. Dell closed all of their in-person kiosk locations in order to get the money to fire the CEO they put in because no one bothered vetting his contract, allowing him to adjust his own pay rate to whatever he wanted, and could only be fired with a $40 million golden parachute bonus. So their choice was to either come up with $40 million ASAP to fire him, or go completely bankrupt the very next pay period. So yeah, Dell was almost bankrupted within a single week due to a pirate CEO. That is to an urban legend. There are laws specifically designed to protect against people sneaking wacky crap into contracts. I was an intern at Wells Fargo and we were grouped with other interns across the US and given a project to work on aside from our normal intern responsibilities. My group was tasked to look at their current incentive program and the one they were moving to and then come up with various ways they could be improved. 2 weeks before our presentation, someone way above each of our managers had us shred all our work and sign NDAs. A couple years later the story broke about their incentive programs where employees were opening up fraudulent accounts for customers in order to gain more incentive rewards. Yeah, this is actually really interesting. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese are coming out with a more modern and upscale version to expand their market from lower income folks to higher income folks. It is almost entirely the same product as the 69-cent blue box. It will have a lighter, less orangey color. They will be sold as shells and not macaroni. The box will be shaped differently, and it will go for $2.50 or more. Stated to be released by 1995. Maybe I'm lower class, but I like it when it's more orange. My sister worked for a high-profile bakery company. They would sell $500 wedding cakes and stuff. When she was hired, she had to sign a crap ton of legal NDA documents. They literally just used instant cake mix from the local grocery store. The cake probably cost about $10 bucks at most to make. I feel like a lot of places are like this. It's probably the design you're paying for. You could get free satellite TV without any hacking or hardware mods. Call up your Dish or DirecTV phone line. Add everything you want to get. Wait until it all appears on your account and you can watch it. Then, unplug all the hardware in your system and give them a call back, saying it wasn't you or you changed your mind, or you only had it for visiting family or whatever. Take it back down to the bare minimum or turn it off completely. Wait at least 24 hours, preferably a good 2 or 3 days. Then, plug your crap back in and continue to enjoy everything. This has been known to work for years for a lot of people. Satellite TV is one-way communication, so the only way they update your programming authorizations is to send a signal to your specific hardware. Sending satellite signals for single customers is expensive, so they don't keep doing it. When your system gets the update to turn on all the channels, it sticks until you make a change. All you have to do is skip that downgrade signal. Holy crap, this can't be real. There is going to be a Capri Sun sports flavor in roughly 2003. I was a taste tester for Kraft Foods when I was 10. We didn't sign an NDA, but it was supposed to be a secret. They expected you to share it with all your friends to generate grassroots hype. You failed them. Google doesn't hire direct support employees. They open small projects in the US. Hire up to 250 contract employees of varying support positions for the project. Once they get the stats needed to run everything efficiently, they have mass layoffs and outsource their jobs to a country, Philippines, India, that's willing to accept much less than their US counterpart. At the same time, Google rakes in a huge tax cut because they're creating jobs in the local communities. NDAs expire. I could have sworn I've been asked on annual training type crap how long they last, and the answer is always frick you forever. I was on a documentary show on a prestigious documentary network before they turned into reality trash. The camera crew staged crap, managed to start fights among us, filmed it all, and the stuff that they said would never be aired, that they were filming to track various metrics of health, yeah, aired. With commentary. I got called terrible things when the show aired, got death threats, and according to the very broad terms of the NDA, I could defend myself online. It was such bull. Had to sign one for a court show I went on. The people who approached me and worked with me for the show were sweet and supportive, deceptively, I think now. The judge was an butthole who ignored my evidence and called me names on TV. It was honestly a traumatic experience. And I got threats and insults too. Those shitshows should be banned. I worked for a native casino. The golf courses lost a ton of money for us, as did the advertising for the courses. Food we generally broke even on because of all the comps. If a crime was committed by a dealer, they would watch the dealer for 3 months to see if there were accomplices. They used facial recognition and would pair match you, so if the same person sat with the same dealer over and over, they would know. This way they could look for accomplices. Then when they busted you, they would sit you down and make you watch a video of you breaking the law. They did this because they wanted you to plead guilty as opposed to an expensive trial. Anyone in the golf industry could tell you the first part is absolutely true, even though the golf course increases the value of everything else nearby. Such a weird duality. Everyone's posting about their jobs, but what I wanna know is what goes down in those celebrity house parties. Drugs, hookups, fights, the usual. Worked at a matchmaking company. It's all bulls, it's just throwing darts at a wall until something sticks. There's no science or magic to it all. I thought you meant a company that makes literal matches and was confused. Figured that recipe would have been locked down long ago. My boss got drunk at a conference and tried to get in my hotel bed. She forced me to share a room with her and declared our room pants free after 9 p.m. She got drunk at a baseball game and tried to switch shirts with me in front of co-workers and clients, and when I quit because of it, she left me a message saying you're just a 22-year-old little b and it wasn't sexual harassment because I'm a woman. Like she forgot that lesbians existed and that she was one, not like a closeted one, a full-on had a wife lesbian. I was fine just leaving the company, but the phone call pee me off. I was 22 but apparently not as much of a little b. They settled within 2 months for a full year's salary and lawyer fees. Now that's what I call a victory. I signed an NDA once when I was an extra on Mortal Engines. If you watch the movie, you'll learn more than I did on set. I watched the movie, understood nothing, so I'm under a Netflix NDA for a few months, so remind me. No. Use a VPN, make a new account, and reply to my comment with a secret. Number 1. Will. No. I've worked with many ISPs at the past, one of which I'm still under NDA for, but as for the other ones, the equipment replacement fee, divided by 3, that's how much we paid for the box versus how much we are going to charge you. If you're having a issue, something is broken and you want more money, just escalate the issue about twice for maximum return. Don't go past the supervisor's supervisor, however, because while there may be a level above them still within the call center, if you hit corporate, be prepared because they are not required to be nice. As an example of the above, the story I tell is an angry lady who was out of service for about 6 hours. She was not happy with our get off our phone offer and escalated again. By so doing, she passed on about $65 worth of credits, 2/3 of her total bill, and a going forward discount on her total bill that would save her about $7 a month for another $80 over the next year. That was not good enough. She escalated past us and the word came back via email. Her credit for time out of service was instead calculated down to the minute, meaning instead of $65 her new offer was now $1.12 and no discount off the monthly bill. If she attempts to escalate again, I was told inform her we would take advantage of our service policy and cancel her account. Please return your modem with 30 days or face a $99.99 replacement charge. I worked security for a preview screening of Beauty and the Beast like 8 months before it came out. I had to sign an NDA to see Infinity War 2 months early. Everyone broke it instantly once we got back to the lobby, lol. When you chat with Apple support, they are chatting with 2 or 3 other customers at the same time. Also, I'd take myself out of the queue when I'd get connected with one person to chat with because frick that. And one time my manager let it slip that they couldn't tell when someone takes themselves out of the queue when they were already engaged with a customer. I took advantage of that crap. We used an extract to flavor our peanut butter porter. God, it feels good to get that off my chest. I witnessed the autopsy of a murdered 18-month-old child. Part of an internship, I decided not to pursue a career in law enforcement. A guy I know was on cash cab. A lot of it was faked. He was told he would be on a travel food show and would get picked up by a fake taxi at a certain location at a certain time. There were camera crews all over outside the taxi and there's no way on earth you might mistake it for a real cab. I always assumed that the contestants knew they were going to be on cash cab and their surprised reactions were all faked. If this is true, it's actually a pleasant surprise. A government, in 1972, identified a terrorist by his wife's breasts from satellite images. By God, that woman deserves to know that her breasts are so big they can be seen from space. Worked for a short time as a QA tester at EA, and wasn't allowed to talk about the game I was testing, the console port for The Sims 4. There wasn't really much to talk about, but since the first few versions were basically just running the PC version on a console, there were a lot of bugs with it. One of the worst was a lighting bug we started referring to as disco mode, since it caused a bunch of multicolored squares to show up on everything at night or in dark areas. I signed an NDA to waitress at a local family-owned restaurant. The owner was nuts, definitely had a severe personality disorder, and was worried about his recipes getting leaked. The restaurant is dead now and his secret recipes consisted almost solely of frozen packaged food. Shot a documentary about an episode of Extreme Homemaker. Couldn't talk about it until it was announced to the family and local community. Apple 100% replaced the iPhone 4 for users because of a shitty antenna. We were instructed to dodge, deflect, and deny this was the issue. Cell phone providers were crap. The phone was a fluke. It didn't matter. Don't admit fault. But if they were there for reception versus water damage, buttons or battery life, you had to make sure you were swapping them with the newer batch iPhone 4 swaps rather than the typical batch swaps. It was a recall without being a recall, but only if you had reception issues. D&D 5e had a kick-ass online character builder that made character creation a breeze. It listed all of the possible skills etc per race and class that was intuitive and made theory crafting for characters easy. They canned it because it took away from the pen and paper aspect of the game and they were afraid with an online tool it'd take away from book sales. Signed an NDA when I worked as a fit model for Katy Perry's shoe line. Basically a fit model is used for their good proportions to test out the fit of garments. I'm a solid size 7.5, so hooray for being average. I was hired on 2 occasions and got to hang out and give her my opinion on the fit, feeling, and comfort of different shoes. Didn't think she'd actually be there, but both times she was present and totally running the show. Super nice woman in person and remembered me when we met again. Also, she apologized for making me wait so long, which I thought was nice. It was a late night meeting as she'd just wrapped shooting a music video. Her dog is really cute too, and I got to save it when it got stuck behind a wall panel. Amazon made me sign one when I worked with a company that painted their airplanes before the public knew they had them. I did the FAA paperwork. I was literally only one of like 7 people to see their airplane fully purple with their logo on it. I was actually taken off of the project for a day because they thought I lied about not having a Facebook. They meant business. You have been visited by the rock and roll doggo. Like and comment rock on doggo to keep doggo's dreams alive. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.